Hi, welcome back to Talk of the Town. Sanford Jones, pianist with the Youth Opera International, speaks about the performance at this year's Providence Presents From Bach to Broadway, a musical concert supporting the Gullah Museum of Hilton Head Island. Sanford, pleasure to have you today.
Thank you.
So tell us about the upcoming concert.
Well, this is the 5th annual concert that we presented to benefit the Gullah Museum. And I'll be joined by 3 other world-class pianists and musicians. Effie Meidel is an African-American violinist who grew up in Savannah but then took her musical training in London. Okay. And her father is a Shakespearean actor, and she's going to be playing some beautiful Rachmaninoff music, and Schumann as well. And then Kelly Blackmar from Savannah, Georgia, is my duet partner. Mm-hmm. She's been at the Unitarian Church for 20 years, just a fine pianist. And we're doing some Rachmaninoff and some Bach. And then the soprano, Rebecca Flaherty, who played the mother in Amal just this last Christmas in Savannah, is going to do some lovely French songs, 3 of my songs from the children's operas that I've composed, and 3 Broadway. I could have danced all night, that sort of thing.
Yes.
So that's why we're calling it From Bach to Broadway.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be just a fantastic show. So tell us about some of the composers and what's the history of this annual concert now that it's in its 5th year.
Well, we have found that the audience in Hilton Head is very eclectic. We have young people who really like the Broadway and the popular things. We have older people who grew up on the classics, as did I. And so we've really tried to mingle everything so that there's something for everybody. And we do some verbal notes from the stage as well to kind of give, for example, the piece we're opening with is called Sheep May Safely Graze by Bach. And we talk about the fact that the goddess of the flocks in ancient Roman mythology is calling her sheep. And we have very tinkly music high in the register, and that's the little bells of the sheep. And the padding of the feet is the 8th note pulse in the lower part. So it gives kind of little helps to the listener who may not know the particular piece. Yeah. It's rather informal in style.
Yeah. Yeah.
And on the encore, we're going to do I've Got Peace Like a River, and we're going to get the people standing up and taking part.
Yeah. Oh, and that's always the favorite, isn't it, when people can participate?
Right.
So talk a little bit about the relationship with Louise Cohen and the Gullah Museum of Hilton Head Island that you're supporting with this concert.
Well, our daughter, Carrie Hirsch, who is a resident of Hilton Head, was on the board of the Gullah Museum. And she was the link that put us in touch with Louise. And we know that they need money for their projects. And as performers, we just love performing, so it was a natural mesh. And one of their board members was a member at Providence, Presbyterian. And so it just kind of fell into place. And now we have 5 concerts under our belt and just hoping for more. Yeah,
and I know she's thrilled with you're working with them and supporting them.
Yes, I just had a lovely conversation with her about
So you've been performing publicly for over 65 years. That's a long time. So talk about what you love about playing the piano.
Well, that's an easy question because I remember, just like it was yesterday, my first piano lesson. I was 6 years old. It was 1944. We were in the middle of the war. But I had my little book in my hand, and I walked 4 blocks in the little town in Virginia where I grew up. And the daylilies were blooming. That's what I remember that day. And after my first lesson, I just loved practicing. I love practicing as much as performing.
Wow.
And like Paderewski, the great pianist, said, you know, if I miss 1 day of practice, I know it. If I miss 2 days, my wife knows it. If I miss 3 days, the audience knows it.
Yeah.
So I do everything in my power to make sure I get to the piano every day.
I love that, Sanford. So the event at the Presbyterian or Providence Presbyterian Church will be held.
This is on the 19th of January. That's a
19th
Friday.
Of January.
It's part of their series.
Okay.
And the time is 5:30.
All right.
Concert lasts until 7. As a light refreshment reception afterward. And there's no admission at the door. There would donations
are welcome.
the plate is passed at intermission.
Wonderful. And quickly, you also will be performing this program on January 22nd in Savannah as well.
That's right. It's the very same program, and it's at Asbury Methodist Church, Henry and Waters in Savannah.
Wonderful. Sanford, thank you so much for joining us.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
And we'll be right back with Talk of the Town.